FOJ 40, Jay? Is that what we're on right now?
40 episodes. How about it, Jeff? How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I am doing well. It's been a good week.
Okay.
It's been
Yeah.
it's been a productive week on my end. I don't know
What
about
made
you,
it
but
good and what made it productive?
well, I made some headway in my backyard forest, tree cutting, tree trimming, tree shredding, whatever you want to call it. So I made some headway there. I got a nice blister on my left finger, my left hand. So, that's not fun. So I kind of stopped, but, I got that going and my garage door replaced, which
All
has
right.
been needed to happen for a long time. I'm kind of embarrassed to say how long it's been since I've needed that done, but, yeah, finally got it done. So
Well, I
that's a good
mean,
thing.
come on. When do you need to actually replace your garage door? When it's either broken or something else like that, right?
Okay. All right. I haven't had a working garage door. Not that we've really needed it because, we don't park the cars in there. We kind of just use it for storage and stuff. But I haven't had a working garage door in over 10 years.
10 years.
10 years. I
What the
know.
fuck, man?
And I know. Well, it's an expensive, undertaking to replace a garage door. I don't know if you've ever had to do
Oh,
that,
yeah.
but they're,
Yeah.
yeah, they're a lot. But we just never really felt the urgent need to do it. I mean, we always just went in and out the front door. We never, like I said, parked the car in there. It just, we just kind of kept stuff in there, no big deal. So we never really needed it. So you're going to ask, okay, what finally prompted you to fix it?
Well, I want to know what was broken. Was it the door itself? Was it the garage door opener? Was it the spring, the tracks? The
Okay,
raccoons got up in
so
there.
that's funny. So it was the door itself was dented. I don't know how that happened. I'm assuming one of my three boys maybe hit it and didn't want to tell anybody. So that was problem number one. Problem number two, the spring broke at some point.
Okay.
So couldn't open it anyway. And three, the track had kind of just bent or moved or whatever. So it was kind of a trifecta of issues that happened. So a deal came across one of the Facebook groups that Michelle belongs to. A guy had a deal, and I'm like, okay, let's bring him out. He's like, mention this post. Did he get a certain percentage off? I said, okay, let's quote it. I had it quoted last year for almost, it was probably about a little over $3,000 to do it. And this guy quoted 1725, and I said, sign me up. How soon can you do it? And it was done. Let's see. Came out the next morning. This was Monday. Came out the next morning, Tuesday morning. Had to take the door apart to basically get it off because the spring was busted, so he couldn't open it. So, took the door apart, got it all out of there, and I had a new garage door by about 12:30 on Wednesday.
Nice.
In, out, done. Yes. Opener installed, all of it done. And as we have discussed, I'm a big do-it-yourselfer. I'm a big DIY. But garage doors, no thank you.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a lot of work. Dangerous too if you don't do it right. Like we had a spring break on our garage door once, and the guy was whacking it with a hammer. All of a sudden, boom! It just like shot off the side, like against the wall.
Yeah.
It was like I don't know what this guy was doing, but all right. I guess that's one way to fix it.
Yeah. Those garage door springs are wound very tight.
Yep.
So when they snap, it's you better duck because it's coming at you big time. But yeah, and this was one guy. He did the whole thing himself. I was more than impressed. But yeah, not bad.
You just starting up a business or something? Because that price is relatively cheap, I think, for a garage door.
I think this is just a guy who does it on his own.
Don't ask where the doors come from.
Yeah, right. Well, I asked him, I'm like, how long you been doing this? He's like, I've been doing it since 2008. So he's been doing it for a while, and he just, like I said, had his system, came up, couple ladders here and there, took it out, put the new one in, track, all of it, everything, opener done, signed, sealed, delivered.
Did you pick the
So,
door, or was
yeah.
it just like, here's the door?
Oh, he gave me some options. He gave me some
Mhm.
options. I just picked your basic,
Yeah.
run of the mill, generic garage door. So no big deal.
hmm So what are you gonna do with that door now?
So the plan is, to, you mean like the garage space? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
you
you got the
mean,
garage door done, so I assume there's a plan for the
right.
garage itself.
There is. So we're going to turn it into the winter availability for Gwig's Details.
Okay,
So
so
Josh
it's a
will have
shop.
he'll have a shop to work. Yeah, we're going to kind of convert it to a shop to work out of in the wintertime. So
Gotcha. Is he
I
paying rent?
I know. Well, remember, I'm 2% owner.
That's
So,
right. Okay, right. You got
so
equity.
I do have equity, but I know business will slow down for him in the wintertime, but we want to have a space available. That way he can keep it going if jobs come about.
hmm
He has been busy. He has been busier than all hell, which is crazy. He did, what is it? He did 7 details this week, and he's got 9 next week. What is it? 2 Monday, 2 Tuesday, 2 Wednesday, 1 Thursday, and 2 on Friday. And then he's got a few more booked out after that. So business is picking up.
Business is booming.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it is. The goal was to get 2 per day, and he's almost
Getting
there.
there.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that sales guy working out that he hired?
That didn't really materialize. He went out with him one day, and the kid turned out he was a little more bark than bite, if you know what I mean. He was
hmm
all excited,
hmm
and then when it was time to go out, he kind of got nervous and wasn't really sure what he was doing. So that really didn't materialize, but it seems like his Instagram and his Facebook ads, and he's got a bunch of Google reviews that are up, so that helps, and just word of mouth is really moving the needle for him.
That's the way to go. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, he's bootstrapped this entire thing on his own, and Michelle and I have helped him out a little bit, just kind of talking him up and all that kind of thing. But he's done all the work, and it's kind of funny because Jeremy was working with him, but he has since started his job. So as soon as Jeremy left, business just kind of went through the roof. So he's had to do everything on his own, which is kind of funny. But hey, all the work's done by him, but he gets all the money. So he's not
Yeah,
paying
that's what I'm saying.
anybody to help him.
Not
So
splitting any profits there.
that's correct. So that's good.
Well, that's good. You had some home improvement stuff happen. I had some home. What's the opposite? De-improvement happen. Did I text you the
Oh
picture
yes,
of how my week started
you
off
did.
Monday?
Yes, you
So
did. So take us through it.
yeah, so I wake up Monday and go downstairs, bring the dogs, let them out. Everything's fine. This is about probably like, I don't know, probably like 7:30 or 8 a.m. Whatever, no problems. And then I get a text from my darling wife to come upstairs and that there's a leak. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's not good. So let's go upstairs. And I look, and yeah, she's standing in the hallway, and there's like a drip coming from the ceiling, sort of like in the middle of our upstairs hallway. I'm like, okay, well, that definitely
Okay.
wasn't there when I came down because
Right.
there was no drip, no problem, like nothing. I'm like, okay, well, have at it, get up there, check it out. And so she goes up there, and this is great. And then, she says so we have an HVAC unit on the second floor as well, up in the attic.
Okay.
Because it's a big house, so you kind of need both.
Yeah.
So we have one up there, and the collection pan is full underneath it. So there's like a condensate and like a drain pan that sits underneath your blower, basically, and
Right.
collects that stuff and then drains out. But that thing was completely full, which is probably a good 3 inches, I think, of depth for like this pan.
Okay.
And it's like, okay. And so it turns out the water sensor is broken. That would have it cut off. And so it was overflowing and just dripping out the sides of the drain bucket or the drain pan, which is probably maybe like 3x3 or 4x4 foot, something like that size, roughly, for the second floor. And so it's
Okay.
like in the attic, right? Oh, and where the blower is, and like the thing is, it's over where it's looking. Like, okay, well, that's probably what's going on. And then so turn off the air conditioner. I'm like, all right, let's start to drain it because it's not draining. So like that's a problem. And the water sensor is also not detecting that it's full, because that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to shut off when the water sensor trips. So I go downstairs and make a phone call and say, hey, let's get an HVAC person out here to take a look at it. And then I get another call from my wife, and this one says 911. Like, okay, now what? So I go upstairs, and a chunk of our ceiling had fallen out and was probably like the size of like a size of a manhole, basically, had fallen.
Oh man!
And so insulation and all that stuff that's up in your attic, just totally fell down and like covered like the hallway and then down the stairs. And it's like, okay, so that's how my Monday starts, and good times. So I still, a week later, almost. So we got the HVAC stuff like fixed the same day. Like, people came out, found it, replaced the sensor, and fixed the clog or whatever was going on there. So that's all fine now. But I still have a hole in my ceiling.
So it can't get any worse, is that what you're saying?
Can't get any worse. But now I have a hole in my ceiling looking up into my attic with, insulation and other stuff kind of just hanging there. And now we're waiting to find somebody to come out and fix it. We've already had one person come out, and they owe us a couple quotes. And it'll be an interesting fix because it's also a popcorn ceiling in that area. And so either we get rid of the popcorn ceiling or replace it or try to do something with it. So I'm expecting another expensive repair on top of the HVAC stuff that had to be repaired. But I will tell you, North Carolina sucks. And pardon my French, fucking sucks when it comes to services. Like trying to get electricians, plumbers, handymen, contractors out to your house to do something and then actually show up when they say they're going to show up is a nightmare here. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand what the problem is, but if you had a decent business and all you had to do was show up and say, okay, here's an appointment, I will see you on this date, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, it doesn't happen. It's like a ridiculous failure rate to get people out here. They go, oh yeah, we couldn't make it out there. We'll try to get there tomorrow or then tomorrow. And they don't call back. They don't text back. And these are like companies that do this shit for a living. Like, we're not, mom and popping it. I hope. But I don't know what it is about North Carolina, but North Carolina services just fucking blow, dude.
Is it because there's a lack of them? Or is there too much work? Is it still like what is it, hurricane related type stuff?
I mean, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's stuff like that. But that just means it's an exercise in managing expectations. If you can't make it when you say you're going to make it, don't make the appointment, and then have me sit there and wait for you to show up. Okay. Sure. It's super annoying. Like, it happens all the time. 9 times out of 10 is probably too aggressive, but I would say at least 50% of the time there'll be like an appointment set. We'll see you between this time and this time, and they don't show up.
Right.
And it's not like any one vendor. It's literally everything. We've had problems with electricity, plumbing, HVAC, all kinds of stuff like that.
Anytime you've had a problem.
Yeah. Anytime you need something fixed or want something done around the house, good luck if they actually show up when they're going to. I don't understand it. I don't understand why that is such a problem here. I get it. Things happen. I mean, we lived in Illinois for 40 years and didn't have anywhere near as many problems actually getting someone to show up and do the work.
Right.
So I don't know what the problem's here.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
don't think of an excuse because there's no rhyme or reason.
No. I'm not thinking of an excuse. I just, up until you said popcorn ceiling, I would have thought, man, that's a pretty easy job.
Yeah, it's just drywall.
Yeah, you basically cut around the hole and make a square around the hole, and and cut the square out of a piece and put it up there, tape, mud, and and paint it. But once you said popcorn ceiling, that
goes all out. Yeah,
that's That's out of my realm. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. And it's, it's an older house. It was built like in 97 or something like that. So there's a lot of popcorn
Yeah.
ceiling for whatever reason on the first and second floors. But,
Sure.
this is an opportunity, I think, to kind of clean it and get rid of that stuff. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just super annoying. People just don't show up, and it's just
Yeah, because
hit or miss.
they'd have to grind it all, your entire ceiling in the hallway
Yeah. Scrape
down.
it. And it's second, it's actually like a third floor because it's like a tall
Yeah.
like entrance area. And so you've got like an exposed, when you walk in the front door, there's stairs that go up, and it's kind of like a squarish area. So they'd have to do that hallway. And then because they're doing that hallway, so it's not like the only surface that it doesn't have it, is they'd have to do like the rest of the ceiling as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the whole area. So yeah, that'd be tough. Yeah, you want a pro to do that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it's also like I said, second and third floor, basically like stories. So tall ladder and just getting the stuff up there to do it. It's like, all right, just
Plus, scraping that stuff is your house is gonna have drywall and paint dust everywhere.
yeah. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. And
oh,
so I'm prepared for it's gonna be expensive to fix. So maybe it's an
Yeah.
insurance claim. We'll see. And then it's gonna be, okay, well, when's it gonna happen? And then how long is it gonna take? Like, I'm just prepared for the worst because, my car is still in the shop, which we haven't talked about in a while, but we're approaching 2 months of it being at the dealer,
Right.
with no
right.
no end in sight. So I'm just used to like shit taking forever around here.
Well, that sucks, man. Well, hopefully you don't
What are you
have to
gonna do?
sit on that for 10 years like I did my garage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that sucks.
Yep. So that was a shitty way to start Monday off. So my Monday became picking up installation and trying to like at least get it squared away enough to like do whatever. And at the same time, also I have like meetings with clients and stuff like that.
Now, are your floors like carpeted, or are they wood, or what?
It's a mix.
Or do you,
So at the top of the landing was carpet, and then down the stairs is all wood. So the cleanup wasn't too bad, but
Nothing got ruined or anything outside of the ceiling?
just the ceiling.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, got
That's
lucky.
good.
It was just, like I said, just a manhole chunk of drywall. And what was irritating is there was no warning. Like the sensor had failed. There was no immediate leak, literally until like an hour after I'd come downstairs. And there was,
How would you know?
Right. And well, because the sensor is supposed to be there and it's supposed to be fixed. It's supposed to work.
Right.
But it didn't. So guess who went out and bought a whole bunch of, Wi-Fi water sensors to put all over the house? This guy.
I was gonna say, let me guess, you now have an app for that.
Yeah. So now I've got a whole bunch of them around the house, and just where, water could potentially leak. So that means I'm not going to have any problems with water for a while.
Only you, man.
Yeah. So
I don't blame you. Yeah, because I've had the only water issue I've had in this house is the basement, where the basement's flooded a couple of times, and yeah, it sucks. It is an absolute nightmare to walk into something like that. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
Not
home
good.
ownership is a lot of fun sometimes.
Yeah, how old is your house?
I think it was built in 97, so 28 years.
Okay.
I mean, it's in great shape.
Okay.
I mean, we had the inspection
Yeah.
done. There was like nothing to fix that they found. It was like minor basic stuff. It's like, all right, well, we'll see if we can get that or not. But no, it's a solid house. It's, a custom builders, whatever, out in the hills here. So,
Yeah.
good materials and stuff like that. But it's held up,
Yeah,
other than minor maintenance issues. And like I said, if the water sensor had worked, it wouldn't have been a problem. And, that's probably on us. We probably should have checked it, of course, and gone up there more often. But who goes in their attic every so often?
Yeah,
it was actually going up there to
know?
change the filter when we noticed it. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how would you know? So
yeah. And we had just had it inspected like 6 months ago. So it wasn't like we have like a maintenance plan where they come out and look at it.
So if the sensor was working, then something would essentially pump that water out. It would allow
It would stop the blower from running to create more condensate.
Okay.
And it would trip an alarm on the thermostat and say, hey, your second floor is not working. And so that would cause somebody to go up there and look and say, oh, because we've actually had the same problem in our basement blower, which handles the rest of the house, where the same thing happened. Pan got full, wasn't draining.
So when the pan starts to fill, and I know the sensor cuts it off, but where does that water go?
It's supposed to drain.
It is supposed to drain.
All the time.
Okay.
But because it wasn't draining, that's what the sensor is for, to catch that it's not draining.
Okay, so the sensor was the drain clogged? I mean...
Drain was clogged,
So the sensor was blown, and the drain was clogged. Okay, all right.
So both things. So the safety for the drain clogging failed,
Gotcha.
which was the sensor. Yeah. And then we had that problem already in the basement but in the basement it didn't matter because it was like, okay, it's not draining. It's just a pan of water and it cuts off the thing. Like, why isn't the first floor air conditioning system working? Oh, you go down and look and say, oh, it's because of this thing. So I had to replace that sensor like a year ago.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So,
well,
good times.
I guess it's not crisis averted, but again, it could always be worse. So,
absolutely. I mean, look, you know, I'm not going to complain. First, I mean, it's a home ownership thing. I got a hole in my ceiling.
Yeah.
It'll get fixed at some point, and we'll move on. That's
there you go. Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
So I had a couple things that I want to bring up to you. Do you have? Yeah. First of all, I have a Bears thing. I have a baby crawl thing, and I have what I think might be a crime against humanity that I want to get your take on, that involves children.
Wow. Okay.
Which one do you want to start with, or do you want to hit me with stuff first?
Well, okay. I'm very interested in all three of your topics. I have to do one thing before that because I said I would, and I said I would do it early. So Thursday night we went. So in the summertime, we're big into local music, going out to, Romeoville. We do Bolingbrook on Wednesday and Romeoville on Thursday. Basic concerts in the park, right? Yes. So Thursday night, first off, Wednesday night, we saw this Fleetwood Mac cover band, and they were outstanding. I mean, these guys were so spot on that even each band member looked like the member of the band, that they were, the drummer looked like Mick Fleetwood, and they had two women. One looked very similar to Stevie Nicks. The other one looked very similar to Christine McVie, and Lindsey Buckingham looked a lot like the guy that was, so very similar. So I always give letter grades to the bands because that's how I am, and I'm a goofball and all that kind of stuff. So I gave, exactly. So I gave them an A. They were spot on, very good. And I don't do that very often. But Thursday,
so what was the name? What was the name of that band?
They were called Secondhand.
Okay, because they have to have a good cover name band.
They were called Secondhand News, which is a song by Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, I've heard of them. I didn't realize they were going to show up. I heard it was just going to be a rumor that they were showing up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Secondhand News.
Okay.
Rumors. I got that.
Anyway. The only thing I know about Fleetwood Mac. All right, cool.
An all-time album, not just by Fleetwood Mac, but just in music history. Rumors is, I believe, a top 10 selling album of all time. Anyway, so Thursday, we're in Romeoville. They call it Rockin' the Ville. And they built this across from 135th, right where we used to live on Murphy Drive, is the city hall, right? And behind there, they built it up, and they built this really, really nice concert venue, stage type outdoor thing with just the hill where you can, seats and you plant lawn chairs. They do concessions, all that kind of stuff. So super nice. You probably get, I don't know, 500, 600 people there, maybe more. So we saw this group called the Red Roses, and they did like a lot of 90s, but mostly 2000s alternative. So a lot of Weezer, a lot of Killers, lots of just stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of other, popular songs from that era that they covered. Jeff, I got to tell you, these guys were unreal. Probably we've been going to Music in the Park for like 3 years now. And this by far was the best band that I've ever seen in that setting doing cover songs.
What was the name of the band?
4 guys called the Red Roses.
The Red Roses.
The Red Roses. And you can check them out on Instagram. I believe they have Facebook, the Red Roses Band. And just 4 musicians from Chicago. I guess they used to have 5, but one guy just moved to London for another opportunity. So now it's 4 guys. They all seem to play multiple instruments within the band. Like, one guy plays guitar for part and bass. I think all 3 of them played keyboards at some point. The drummer did some of the vocals. Just, they all had dual parts within the band, depending on what song they were playing. But just really solid, spot on music. And it was kind of funny because the crowds to these Music in the Parks tend to be older. I mean, let's just say I feel like we're on the younger end of who goes to this thing. I mean, I'm 50, going to be 52 here in my advanced age. But, but this crowd was real quiet in the beginning, but they got into it as it went on and on and on. And I mean, at the end, these guys, a standing ovation, and the crowd went bananas for these guys at the end because they were just really good. And Michelle, being the groupie that she is, she went up and actually talked to these guys after the end of the show. And she mentioned this podcast, and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, all right, we'll have to tune into the podcast." So I told them that I would shout them out here on the podcast. I don't know if they'll actually listen, but she gave them all the information, and I guess I can reach out on Facebook or Instagram to give it to them. But to the Red Roses Band out of Chicago, you guys were absolutely fantastic. Best band I've seen in Bolingbrook or Romeoville in 3 years. So kudos to you.
Hey, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and just give them the FOJ show listeners of the week? Pew, 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 pew. So congratulations to those guys. Yeah. I know my sound effects.
Yeah, they were really good. They were really good. And actually very cool to talk to. So they were neat. So
what was the top song for you for them?
Boy, they played Buddy Holly by Weezer, and that was really good. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick, because I know they played they played another Weezer song. I think it was
Island in the Sun? Undone,
no,
the sweater song?
Yes, I think it was that one. And it was, again, super good. Let me pull, because I could tell you as soon as I pull them up, because they have some of their songs listed on their website or whatever it is, that if I could freaking find it. Anyway, it's just like I said, 90s, what is it? They played some Franz Ferdinand, MGMT, if you remember that. I guess they have a side project that strictly covers Radiohead.
Interesting.
Yeah, but they did play Creep by Radiohead. Obviously Seven Nation Army, White Stripes. Here, I found it. Mr. Brightside by the Killers. They played Tighten Up by the Black Keys. Let's see. They played Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People. Here It Goes Again. Okay, Go. So it gives you an idea.
It's a great song. I like Here It Goes Again.
It is
that's underrated.
Yeah, I do too. That band's from Chicago. I never knew OK Go was from Chicago. Did you know that?
Yeah, they're actually playing the Orange Peel here in Asheville in, I want to say December, I think.
Nice. Nice. They played The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. So a lot of, like I said, late 90s, early 2000s alternative type stuff, but really, really good and really cool guys. So a lot of fun.
That's cool. That sounds like a good nostalgia trip too for knowing the audience and get out there. But yeah, I mean, I listen to all that stuff still, so No,
so do I. So do I. I actually went to. I went to my Spotify playlist that, I'm building, and I'm up to almost 500 songs, by the way. We haven't talked about that in a while. But a lot of the songs that we heard that night, it kind of triggered me to, oh yeah, I got to add that, or oh yeah, I got to add that one.
Mhm.
So yeah, a lot of good stuff.
That's cool. How long do they play?
2 hours.
Wow, that's a long show.
Yeah, the show in Bolingbrook is always an hour and a half, and then the one in Romeoville's 2 hours.
Did they have openers, or were they the only band?
No, it's only one band.
Hmm.
Always, usually, God, very rarely do you see a band that plays original stuff. It's usually always cover bands that play.
Yeah.
But I what impresses me about these bands is I have to believe that these guys have day jobs as well. And they kind of do this on the side for, I'm sure a lot of it's for fun. And I mean, obviously they get paid and everything, but there's no way, at least I wouldn't think that they could support themselves just being in a cover band. But it amazes me that, God, when do they find time to practice and get the music 100% right on every song from different groups, different styles? I mean, just, I don't know how these guys do it, but yeah, it was awesome.
Sounds like a cool gig. I mean,
Yeah,
I wish I could play an instrument. I can't. So,
me too.
you know,
Me
so
too.
the Red
I
Roses,
guess
good times.
yeah, the lead singer told us that he's always been the lead singer of this band, but never played an instrument because it used to be five guys. But now, since the guy left, I guess he just started playing the guitar for this band in June. So he's only been playing for like a month, maybe a little over a month. And this guy, he was one of those guys who really gets into it. I mean, most lead singers, you could tell that they just kind of had it. He had a lot of stage presence. It was cool. And he was kind of like a throwback. He was like a throwback to like I know he was singing, songs from the 90s and 2000s and stuff, but he reminded me of somebody you would see in like the 60s or 70s, just the way he moved, the way he talked to the crowd, all that kind of thing. But yeah, it was cool.
Well, let's go to some plugs here. So they're going to play, I'm looking at their website. They're in Geneva, Illinois on Saturday the 9th.
Yes.
So this coming Saturday.
Yes.
They're in Woodridge, summer concert. I'm guessing Woodridge. I don't know. It doesn't have a location. That's August 13th. Then they're in Muskegon, Michigan, and Grand Rapids, Michigan, the 15th and 16th. So
Nice.
I guess they got Jay. If you're giving them your seal of approval, they're definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, they were A+ for me. They were excellent. Definitely worth the 2 hours, no doubt.
Very cool.
So yeah, hope to see them come back to Romeoville again. I guess they told us this was the first time that they had been to Romeoville, and they never really got the connection that we were 10 minutes away from Joliet. They thought the Romeoville Joliet connection was kind of interesting. So Romeo Joliet, yeah, they kind of laughed at that. So I'm like, yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Real creative town naming there.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right, well, let's go.
All right,
The
so
redrosesband.com. Okay. So what else you got?
yeah, check them out. So you said you got Bears. What do you got for the Bears? Because I got
start
some
with the
things
Bears.
about the Bears too.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and start with then what I came up with. So I don't know if you're on Reddit, but the NFL subreddit has something I think they've done a few times now where they will do the NFL roast of and then insert the NFL team. So NFL roast of the Chicago Bears. I had not heard of this until literally today when I was scrolling and found this thing. And this is a 9-year-old post. So there must be a newer one. As now that I look at the dates, I'm like, okay, this can't be right. So let's see, 7 years ago. So apparently they've been doing this for a long time. Here it is, the 2025 NFL roast of the Chicago Bears. This is what I was looking at, everyone. So every year, I guess, for however long, they've been doing this for different teams and stuff like that. And it's basically, so Reddit is just, people who are on the internet and then writing their comments and either being funny or being trolls or whatever, right? So I thought I'd share some of these roasts that are for this year's Bears. And
I love a good roast.
So when I read these off, this is basically it's sorted by best, which basically means like the most popular comments, the ones that are getting the most traction, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so the I thought this was really funny. The first comment is jokes on everyone else. No one hates on the Bears more than Bears fans.
Oh, that's got to be true.
Yeah. And so far and
Yeah,
away,
I would
that's right
agree.
now the number one upvote one. So there was that one. Um, and so there's just been a bunch of ones. There was one I saw, I had to go back a ways, and this one was so 9 years ago, the number one post was and this hurts so bad because it's still freaking true. And this is from a Vikings fan. I'd say something mean, but the Bears don't understand offensive lines. And
Yeah,
that's
little
from nine years
did we.
ago.
Yeah, and I mean, it remains to be seen, but hopefully 9 years later they've corrected that problem. That's so funny.
Well, there's another one.
Yeah.
My favorite play in my team's history is a kick return in a game we lost.
Yep, Super Bowl against the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Hester taking the opening kickoff to the house. I remember.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked out Reddit, just search for Bears roast, Chicago Bears roast, and you'll find, a bunch of these that have been done, I think over the years. But I remember scrolling through it, and there was one about there was a Packers roast too. So like this goes back as well. So
Okay.
back from that same 9 years ago, the number one post was the Packers have had Brett Favre and then Aaron Rodgers since 1992 and have only won two Super Bowls. That's pretty weak.
That's true.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yep. The Packers have a G as their logo because it's the average cup size of their male fan.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow. That's good.
Let's see. Apparently, Eddie Lacy was playing back then with them. So too bad Eddie Lacy's losing the weight. He could have started to fit in with the locals. The Packers have to resod the field every year because they keep finding moss in the end zone.
Wow.
Yep. So if you
That's a good one.
haven't seen it, I would go check it out. It's a lot
I
of
will
fun.
go check that out.
Yeah. So what do you got for the
That is
Bears?
fun.
Because it's what
Oh,
first week where I've actually heard some news coming out of some players doing some things.
yeah, they well, it's so weird because depending on where you read, it's like obviously you start with Caleb. Is he progressing? Is he not? Is he picking up the offense? Is he not? Some people are saying he's struggling. Others are saying that he's picking things up really well. I guess the other day in practice he went like 18 for 22 with 3 touchdowns, no picks, that kind of thing. So from what I understand, things are looking good. Like they finally had a day where the offense actually looked better than the defense, which I would think in any training camp, the defense is going to be ahead. I would think so, right? See,
I
especially in a
guess.
situation.
I don't know.
Well,
I guess it depends how
yeah,
bad your team
yeah,
is.
exactly, exactly. So, the other couple of exciting things is apparently Luther Burden. Everybody was concerned about this guy coming off the hamstring, and did he have an attitude issue? And he wasn't ready to practice right away, and all that kind of thing. But they're saying this guy is the real deal. Like, I guess the other day, he was the definite highlight of practice, made every catch. Somebody said on Twitter, I forget who it was, I think it was a Bears reporter who said, I would not be shocked if LB3 was the Bears leading receiver this year, which I thought was interesting. Holston Loveland is getting rave reviews from the coaching staff, which is great. I don't know what that means for Cole Kmet, but obviously having two tight ends is a luxury. The competition at left tackle is definitely a thing between Trapillo and Braxton Jones. So I guess that's a good thing if they're willing to. If they drafted a rookie that they're saying is going to compete for the starting job on that offensive line. I mean, I think they found a guy who can help them out, which is good. Of course, he's got to stay healthy and everything. So the other interesting thing that was said was talking about the corners. Obviously, Jalen Johnson is hurt, but they said the cornerback job on the other side which for the last couple of years has been Tyreek Stevenson, that job is wide open, according to Dennis Allen, the coordinator. Now, I don't know if he's saying this to motivate Tyreek Stevenson or whatever, but I just thought that was interesting that, he's not designating a starter at that position.
Well, I mean, given what happened last year, I don't think anyone should be safe, especially not him.
Yeah, I agree. I just found it interesting. So, and I know the guy they signed that I think is taking Johnson's position right now. I forget his name. Played for Seattle. I guess he's played in the Super Bowl, all that kind of thing. So I guess they could move him over. I know they really like Terrell Smith, who played when Stevenson was out last year. So they do have options, which is good. I mean, you always want to have options, right?
So I think we're running into a problem now, though, where again, too many mouths to feed. And
right,
do we have attitudes on the team that are going to be either compatible or incompatible, depending on how you want to look at it, with that approach? Because you've got DJ Moore, Adunze, Luther Burden, Colson Loveland, Cole Kmet, DeAndre Swift. I mean, that's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Roshan Johnson. I mean, Roshan's a backup right now at this point, but you've got 6 starting mouths to feed. Well, not starting, but you've got 2 tight ends, 3 wide receivers, and a running back.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on there. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we're back to they better not fuck this up because they have so many weapons. If the offensive line is even average, it's they're going to be hard to stop on offense.
Well, let's see. You look at the Lions roster last year. They had St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick. Those were the 3 receivers that they had. And then they had Laporta, and I forget the other tight end's name, but I think they had 2 that they worked with. And then they also had Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, who they subbed in and out for. So, 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 3 receivers, and they seem to make that work. Now, I know, obviously egos are different and personalities are different, and you're right. I hope they don't have anybody who's a total malcontent, right?
Right.
I would think that Ben Johnson would shut that down as soon as it started. It seems, I mean, he's tough. I mean, apparently he's kicked guys out of practice. He kicked Luther Burden out of practice a couple days ago, and then Burden responded with a great day. But it seems like he won't put up with it. If you aren't prepared, you line up wrong, you make a mistake, go stand on the sideline, and we'll find somebody who will do it. So I like that personally. I don't think Eberflus did any of that last year from what I heard or what I read or,
right.
Whatever. So,
well, I remain cautiously optimistic still as the
sure.
offseason champs.
Yeah, got to see it in a game, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I say offseason champs because that was another comment in the roast of the Chicago Bears for this year. So it was like another thing like that. But let's have the season start. Let's see. I read, I think it was earlier today, it was yesterday, that Jalen Johnson might not be ready for game 1, which is concerning.
Oh, definitely.
But let's see what happens. Do you think they'll make a move for Micah Parsons, who apparently wants out of Dallas?
That's an interesting one. I don't know if it's true or not.
It is true. He posted it on Twitter or whatever, but yeah.
It's true that he wants out, but I guess the Bears, it's been posted online that the Bears are one of the 4 destinations he would prefer to go to. I don't know if that's true or not. It's like the Bears, the Buccaneers, I think it was maybe the Chiefs, and I think the Patriots of all teams. But is he a game changer? Obviously.
And he's young. He's in his prime.
Yeah. He's 26. Yeah. How good would he look on the other side of Montez Sweat?
But he's not going to be cheap.
No.
They have to give up a lot because he doesn't have any leverage, I don't think, right? Other than just saying, I don't want to play here.
pretty much. Yeah, he's under
So,
contract for one more year.
which means they need to agree to a deal. Nobody's going to trade for him if they don't think they're going to sign him long term.
Well, the comp is the Khalil Mack trade.
Right.
When they traded, what was it? I think 2 firsts, I think it was a second and a fourth or something like that. And they, for Mack, I think a third and a seventh. That is what came back. But if I remember right, was it Khalil Mack a little bit older?
I
Not
think
by a
so, but he
ton.
was still
I mean,
productive. Yeah.
oh, for sure. But I mean, Parsons has 52 and a half sacks over the last 4 years, double digits every year. Yeah, I mean, that would be, if they got him, that puts them in the playoffs. I mean, I think that's how much of an impact he makes. They would have a playoff contender defense. They may already, but that would put them over the top as far as on the defensive side, putting them in the playoffs for sure.
So
In
what
my
would
opinion.
the Bears have to trade to get him?
Oh man, I think you're talking at least 3 first rounders and probably a couple more. Like you might need a second, you might need a fourth. I think Parsons would cost them at least 5 picks. I don't know. Plug it into your.
That's what I was just typing in here to see. So, what does the FOJ Sports Machine say? So, I'm going to say Micah Parsons from the Cowboys for. I don't know if it'll do draft picks. So, that might stump.
Oh, let's find out. Okay.
So, you're saying for 3 first round picks and what? 2 second round picks?
Let's do 3 first rounders, a second rounder, and a fourth rounder. See what that says.
Right. Let's see. Crunching the numbers, calculating, show thinking. No, just tell me an answer here. Good test. I have not tried draft picks with this, so we might have to think of like alternative players that you think, because would a player be involved with this? Would this be an opportunity to get rid of a tight end?
Well, the other scenario I saw was a couple of draft picks, and DJ Moore.
Okay.
Which would leave their receiving core as Roma Dunze, Luther Burden, that
Volkamet and Colson Loveland.
And then Zacchaeus would be the slot guy. Who played for Washington last year. And apparently Zacchaeus has had a really good camp, so that's good news as well.
Yes. Well, so the verdict is in. So definitely a franchise-altering blockbuster transaction. So from the Dallas Cowboys perspective, Cowboys would be trading a generational talent and is primed for a treasure trove of assets designed to reshape the franchise for the next half decade. Historic draft capital. Acquiring 3 first-round picks for a non-quarterback is a monumental haul. Provides the front office with the ultimate flexibility to rebuild the roster with premium, cost-controlled young talent, or to package the picks to acquire another star player. Financial reset. Micah Parsons is due a market-shattering contract extension that will likely make him the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. Trading him before the extension frees up an enormous amount of salary cap space so they can retain other players. Long-term roster stability. This trade effectively restocks the cupboard for years to come, provides insurance against the aging of the current core, and allows for a soft or hard reset depending on how the picks are utilized. So those are the pros. The cons. Immediate defensive collapse. Parsons is the engine of the Cowboys defense. His ability to generate pressure, stop the run, and create turnovers is virtually irreplaceable. Defense would experience a catastrophic decline in performance in the immediate term. Closing the Super Bowl window, trading a player of Parsons' caliber is a clear signal that the team is no longer in a win-now mode. For a team with a veteran quarterback like Dak Prescott, this could be seen as waving the flag on their current championship aspirations. And uncertainty of draft picks, basically you don't know what you're going to get with those draft picks. So that's what the perspective is from the Cowboys, according to the FOJ Sports Machine. For the Chicago Bears, the Bears would be making an aggressive all-in move to establish defensive supremacy and maximize the competitive window opened by a quarterback on a rookie contract. Pros. acquiring a generational talent. The Bears would add arguably the single most impactful defensive player in the entire league, transform their defense from good to potentially legendary, create a nightmare pass rush. Pairing Micah Parsons with Montez Sweat would give the Bears two elite edge rushers, creating an unblockable tandem that would terrorize opposing quarterbacks. And maximizing the rookie QB window, the single biggest competitive advantage in the NFL is a high-performing quarterback on a cheap rookie deal. The Bears would be using this financial flexibility to add a proven, albeit expensive, superstar to contend for a Super Bowl immediately. Cons: mortgaging the future. Surrendering 3 first-round picks severely hampers the team's ability to add high-end, affordable talent for the foreseeable future. If the move does not result in a championship, the lack of draft capital could lead to a prolonged period of mediocrity. Go Bears. Enormous financial commitment. Obviously, it's going to be a big contract and an extremely high risk. The strategy puts immense pressure on the current roster and young quarterback to win now. If a key player underperforms or suffer injuries, the Bears will be left with a top-heavy, expensive roster with no high draft picks to facilitate a retool. So the verdict trade represents one of the clearest examples of future versus present, which we talked about last time, where there was a few different baseball trades that were proposed with draft picks. Bears win the present by acquiring the best player in the deal and forming a defensive front capable of leading them to a Super Bowl. The risk, however, is astronomical and could cripple the franchise for years if it fails. The Dallas Cowboys, while becoming a significantly weaker team in the short term, secure their long-term future. The sheer volume of high-value draft picks is a king's ransom that, if managed correctly, can build a consistent contender for the next decade. So, therefore, the FOJ Sports Machine concludes that the Dallas Cowboys win this trade. The risk undertaken by the Bears is too great to justify the compensation, while the package received by the Cowboys provides a level of draft capital and financial freedom that is simply too valuable to ignore. It is painful, but a strategically sound decision for Dallas. So that's assuming that they get 3 first-rounders, a second-rounder, and a fourth-rounder. No other players and no other mix of picks.
I would agree with that. My issue is I don't know if the Bears could afford to do this based on everything.
I don't think they can.
The Sports Machine just said. I mean, they've got. I know Caleb's on a rookie deal, but they've got some guys making some decent money. I mean, they would have to cut some guys to make room, and I don't know if they want to do that. And giving up that amount of draft capital. I mean, I may have gone heavy on the draft capital. Maybe it wouldn't take that much, but and maybe Parsons would take a little less to get out of Dallas. I don't know if that's the case or not, but that's a big risk, man.
Yeah.
And they've already got an expensive player on the shelf in Jalen Johnson.
Yep. So, but what would help if Jalen Johnson can't play for whatever reason? Sure would help to have 2 pass rushers, shortening that window that a cornerback has to cover for.
Oh, I can't disagree with that. Having Micah Parsons. Oh man, I mean that's that would be a Bears fan's dream right there. If
would
they
that
could somehow make that work?
Would it make Jalen Johnson a little bit expendable?
Well, what are you going to do? Cut him or trade him or?
I don't think you cut him, but I think you try to move him and free up salary.
Maybe.
And have an average secondary and a strong front line. I asked the FOJ Sports Machine to propose a better trade or a more fair trade, and basically it took away a first-round pick. So 2 first-round picks, a second round, and a fourth round.
Okay, if they could make the money work, I could get on board with that. I mean,
I would do it.
I would.
I mean, they're in a win now mode anyway, because if Caleb Williams doesn't work out, then it doesn't matter.
Right, exactly.
They've spent all this money protecting Caleb. This adds a player on the other side that was a hole going into the season that they didn't address.
Right.
And if everybody stays healthy, they should, that would definitely give them, at least a path. There's no guarantees, but would give them probably a 2, maybe 3-year window to get this done.
Yeah. Yeah, because in the last 2 years, and this is including Caleb coming, they've gotten 2 new receivers, 3, maybe 4 starting offensive linemen, a tight end, and a running back. I don't know what else you could have done for this guy, to be honest with you.
Well,
Knowing, and you did all that knowing you were going to draft Caleb, right? Because when they made the deal, when they got rid of the number 1 pick to Carolina in the DJ trade, they basically knew that most likely they were going to have the number 1 pick the next year or so up there because that quarterback draft was so rich. So they knew they were going to come out of it with somebody. It seemed like every other move was to build around him. And now, you've on paper, you've got, an offensive line, you've got another weapon at tight end, you've got, 3 capable receivers, you've got 2 decent running backs. So I don't know what else you could do here. There is nothing else. Now it's okay, Caleb. You have all this stuff.
Yes.
You got an offensive coach. You've got arguably the best play caller in football or play designer in football, whatever, coaching your team. There's nothing else they could have done, in my opinion. So
right. They have to execute, and they have to get the new coaching, process, team, installation, right? All that stuff needs to be in place sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Okay, so for shits and giggles, I've
okay.
asked FOJ Sports Machine if there are any players that the Bears could add instead of draft picks that could help the Cowboys. And there's tier 1 player, which is the only one that came up, was Darnell Wright, offensive tackle, would be a first-round pick value. And then tier 2, so plausibility is very low, but Wright being a young, high-end starting right tackle on a cost-control rookie contract is basically the pro. It's unlikely the Bears would be willing to do that, considering they just spent a lot of money on that. So that's a tier 1 player. Tier 2, plausible sweeteners. Basically, these are second-round pick values. Gervon Dexter Sr., defensive tackle, or Tremaine Edmonds, linebacker.
Okay, well, let's visit all that. So Darnell Wright, if they did that, then they would probably have Trapillo play right tackle and then keep Braxton Jones at left tackle. So you'd be covered, but your depth wouldn't be nearly as good, obviously.
But you get a starter.
I don't know what's after. You do. Let's see. You mentioned Gervon Dexter.
Mm-hmm.
He's a rotation guy on their defensive line who apparently has lost some weight, and they're actually going to try him on the outside in some cases this year. So I think this is his 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, coming up. And he had a good year. I think he had like 5.5, 6 sacks from defensive tackle, which isn't bad. So yeah, he'd be worth something. But again, you're adding Parsons, who, had double-digit sacks every year the past 4 years. So yeah, I could see that. And as far as Edmonds goes, I mean, TJ Edwards is their main linebacker. He's their main tackler. So Edmonds, with Edmonds, you're shedding a lot of salary there as well. So that would be solid. I'd be okay with that move. I'd be okay with Dexter or Edmonds in that deal. Darnell Wright, I think you're taking a risk.
So this is the revised fair trade proposal with a player is 2 first-round picks and Gervon Dexter for Micah Parsons.
Oh, sign me up. I would
do that in a heartbeat. Sorry, Gervon.
I would drive Gervon to the airport, my friend. Sorry.
Yeah. So the verdict on this proposal is that this trade structure is arguably more appealing to the Cowboys than a pick-only deal. They still receive the 2 crucial first-round picks to build for the future, but they also acquire a proven, cost-controlled starter at a key position, reducing the risk associated with a draft pick that might not pan out. For the Bears, it allows them to keep their 2026 second-round pick, which is a valuable asset. They sacrifice a quality young player, but acquire generational talent. So this is a well-balanced and logical trade construction for both franchises. So let's just have the FOJ Sports Machine handle all trades for the Chicago Bears and for all other NFL teams, then I think we're good.
Well, let's get Poles on the phone and make this thing happen.
Yeah, I'll license it to him. My trade guru
there
here.
you go.
Right,
Yeah,
it's like Moneyball, right, but with AI.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, dude, I would love to see Micah Parsons in a Bears uniform. That would be awesome.
Yeah. What else for the Bears? Or do we want to talk a baby crawl?
Let's go baby crawl. What do you got there?
So I saw this video again. I think it was Reddit or something when I was scrolling.
Okay.
And you know how they have those like baby crawls at like a sporting event where they'll put like the babies on one side of like the NBA floor, right? One baseline or whatever. And then they gotta crawl over, right? Yeah. Crawl over to mommy or daddy, right? On the other end, right? Cute, adorable.
Yeah.
Fun for the whole family, right? So this happened recently, and I don't have the post pulled up, so I'd have to find it. But there was, and I'm assuming this is recently because it just showed up, there was a baby in a race, and she got about, I think it was a she got about halfway through the race. And what do you think she did?
Let's say she stopped, started crying, or went to the bathroom, or threw up. One of those four things.
All totally viable things. And by the way, this happened at a Las Vegas Aces game for WNBA.
WNBA game. All right.
It happened, I want to say yesterday. So this would have been like, was it Saturday, August 2nd, I think is when it took place. But the baby did none of those things. The baby took her first steps.
Really?
In the middle of the race, was leading the race, gets up and starts walking. And then basically half of the length is she took her first steps and walked to her mother at the end, stumbling like a little baby does. Took her first steps in front of a WNBA crowd, right? Thousands of people, cheering, right? All that good stuff.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's pretty wild. I mean, most people or most babies take their first steps, on a carpeted floor in somebody's house in front of maybe both parents or, maybe a couple family members. But I can't imagine having your child take their first steps in front of thousands of people on a basketball floor. Like they just got up out of
everybody.
Yeah.
Like they will never have to like look for, we missed it, right? No, it's everywhere.
Like this baby just got up out of nowhere and said, screw this. I'm not crawling anymore. I'm just going to walk it.
Well, kind of stopped about halfway. And then, I'll send you the video. It's pretty easy to find because it's making the social media rounds, but super cool moment, right? To have that happen.
Yeah.
So here's my immediate thought to you is, as cool as that was, is that baby disqualified from that race? It's a baby crawl race, not a baby walk race.
Technically, yeah. I guess.
I mean, I hate to say it, but broke the rules.
Did break the rules. However, I think as a parent, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I would say rules be damned.
Is this just another example of corruption in sports with
right?
A ringer baby who, she doesn't walk, and then all of a sudden, does it?
Now, if that's the case, then that's a pretty sad state of society right there.
Is Las Vegas? So is the mob involved, right? Did the mafia
was there money on this? Was there money on this kid? I mean, did the mom have a little skin in the game, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Is there like a baby crawl association league or something like that? And is the fix in? Is this a bigger corruption than like FIFA, for example?
Maybe. What is it? The ABCA, the Amateur Baby Crawl Association?
I like that. The ABCA, yeah.
ABCA, yeah.
Hmm.
There's already an ABCA. It's the American Baseball Coaches Association. But
Hmm.
I like
But
the
this is a
amateur
up and
baby.
coming
So,
sport. Like,
well, we could turn it into the PCBA, which would be, or the PBCA, which would be the Professional Baby
Professional
Crawlers
Babies Crawler
Association.
Association. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can have an amateur
Um,
or a G League or something like that.
then you could legally
I don't
bet
know what
on
a
it.
G League would look like for a professional babies crawler. Is it just fetuses? Like,
Well, oh man. Well, maybe the G League would be crawling, and then you would graduate into walking.
mm,
You get
okay.
once you became walker, you get called up.
Isn't that just like track and field?
Could be,
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but
I saw the article or saw the video for it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I immediately went to, well, it's too bad that that baby has to be disqualified for taking her first steps in a baby crawl race.
no, it's well. Hey, I'm sure the parents are thinking it. Who freaking cares? That's a great moment.
Hmm.
That's pretty wild.
Yep. Okay. So that was that. And then the other thing is this is a visual thing. And so I'm going to text you this picture. And this
Okay.
is the one that I said is a crime against humanity.
Crime
And
against humanity.
crime against
Right?
humanity. And I'm just going to send it to you. And you tell me what you see here in a second as it comes through. And I want to get your take on this because the story here is the sons of this parent did this. And I want to know what you would do if you came downstairs and one of your three beautiful boys had done this thing. And for the audience, I'm going to let Jason describe it.
Okay, so what I'm seeing here is what looks to be the remnants of 4 cinnamon rolls
Hmm.
that look like donuts because the middles have all been eaten.
Exactly.
So for the common person who enjoys a cinnamon roll, we all know that the most of the time the outside of a cinnamon roll is a little on the crunchy side, right?
Hmm.
And the middle part is the best because it's chewy. It's got the
Hmm.
majority of the icing on it. It's got just the majority of the flavor, the cinnamon
Heaven on
flavors in the
earth.
middle.
That's it. It's just
Yes.
the best. So if you came
Roll.
downstairs and you found this in your kitchen, I feel this is a crime against humanity, and this cannot go without punishment.
While I agree, I would also, after dishing out the punishment, which is definitely warranted here,
Mhm.
I would also have to say I admire the work. Because if a kid did this and a kid thought to do this, that's pretty impressive. One, to recognize the value of what happened here, and them thinking that, yeah, I could get punished, or yeah, I'm at the very least going to get yelled at because whoever made these obviously made these with the purpose of eating them. So you're going to get yelled at, but to be willing to take it and say, you know what, getting yelled at is worth it in this case. That's kind of admirable, and you have to respect it. You might not like the move, and you might be pissed off at the move, but you have to respect it.
So I have 2 points. One, this is, I feel, a failure of parenting because no properly parented child should even have had this notion. Second, I think you're giving way too much credit to the kids. I don't think, and I don't know if it was one kid, 2 kids, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't even think they thought that far ahead. I think they just thought, oh, I want the middle, and took it and didn't think of anything else. And that was it.
Well, as a parent, I can definitely testify to the fact that most kids, at least in their early age, are extremely selfish. They don't think of others. They don't think of, they don't really care about others. They probably didn't think of the consequences that this could come at them for this. And again, they probably don't care what the consequences are because they got what they wanted. So Yeah, bad parenting. Yeah, I could. Is it though? Well, in one case, it's bad parenting, but did they figure out how to do this on their own? Or did they just say, or did mom and dad say, hey, you know, I'm going to introduce you to the cinnamon roll. The middle's where it's at. And then unfortunately, this is what happened. And this is kind of a consequence of teaching your kid, the best parts of a cinnamon roll. I don't know. That could be reading too much into it, but definitely worth being pissed off about. I will say that.
I feel like this is just unacceptable behavior, and I saw that video and it made me angry. I don't have kids, but if that had happened, I would immediately think, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like who raised these children to do this? Or this kid, I don't know the story behind it, but the picture is worth 1,000 words.
Well, this is one of those things that happens and you'd be like, wait a minute. This is my house. I run this house.
Mm-hmm.
I pay for everything in this house. I bought these cinnamon rolls. Who the hell are you to take the middle out? And just steal them from me,
It's just bullshit. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is this the equivalent of, you're the kid and you leave every light out in the house? Or you leave the door open when the heat's on?
I'd argue this is worse.
Kind of thing.
Because this is pathological sociopathic behavior that is just like, this is an episode of Seinfeld, right? You don't double dip.
That's right.
This is the same thing, is you don't take the middle, the best part of a cinnamon roll, and then leave the rest of there. Eat the full fucking cinnamon roll. Now, I would still eat what's left over because I'm a pig, and I like frosting, so it's delicious. I mean, pop that in a microwave. Even if it is a little bit crusty, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, I would still eat what's there too, but it's definitely not what it could have been.
Right.
So,
okay.
Crime against humanity. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's an absolute crime against humanity.
That could be a new weekly segment, the weekly crime against humanity. That's because we see them all the time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. We've got a crime against humanity. We've had the listener of the week. Do we have a dumbass of the week? Because if we don't, I'm going to nominate my water sensor on my second floor HVAC unit.
Trying to think if there's a dumbass this week. No, I don't. I don't think I have an alternative. At least, not one that'll rival what you had happen. So yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Well, cue the "you blew it" sound effect right there for my second floor water sensor for the blower unit thing, whatever it's called. So, you bastard.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, any home repair just is a pain in the ass because it always happens when you don't need it. Not that you ever do need it, but it's just like, God damn it.
Well, plus I'm home. I'm not traveling this week or next, which means I have to deal with it. Usually it's like, oh, I got to go out of town, so go ahead, you take care of it. Bye. Yeah. That's not happening this time.
Yeah, that sucks. Are you?
Well, that was my list because the only things I have left are politics, and I don't know if you want to get into politics.
I had a couple days. Are you? Do you have Netflix?
Of course. I'm not an animal.
Okay.
I'm a red-blooded American man.
Well, I gotta ask. Have you ever watched the documentary Quarterback?
No, I have not. Is it any good? Okay.
Highly recommend.
This is what, second season or third season?
This is, I believe, the second season. The first season was Kirk Cousins, Marcus Mariota, and Patrick Mahomes. This season is Kirk Cousins again, Jared Goff, and Joe Burrow. Now, Cousins, obviously the first time was in Minnesota. This time he's in Atlanta, and I'm about to the point where he's about to be benched for Penix, which is what happened last year. So this all followed these guys throughout the 2024 season.
Okay, so it's last season scenarios.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be
behind the
interesting.
scenes. Yeah. I think I've got 2 episodes to go. So real hardcore behind the scenes stuff. I guess I never knew. And I obviously the quarterback position is difficult. It's difficult to learn, it's difficult to execute, but some of the shit that these, especially Goff, he gets real technical in all the stuff. And what I find interesting is he's at this point still playing under Ben Johnson. So you're learning kind of what Caleb's going through right now by watching what Goff talks about. Obviously different skill sets. Obviously Goff's at a much more advanced point in his career. Obviously at this point in his NFL career, much better quarterback, more experience, more of this, more of that. But to listen to him talk about the offense and the play structure and the calls and everything they've got to identify when they come to the line and all the stuff that they go through, I guess watching this show, I have more respect for that position and what it takes to play it. I know it's arguably the hardest position in sports to play, but I'm telling you, man, after watching this, you're like, holy crap, how do these guys remember all this stuff, remember to identify all this stuff, and then to go out and execute it? It's pretty intense. But Goff is, it just shows you how good of a season he really had last year. Even in the 5, they even talk about the 5 interception game and how he still won it. And then you're seeing Cousins start to struggle. You're seeing Burrow. Oh, the other thing that just happened is Burrow's, he wins a game. I think it was Sunday Night Football in, I think he was in Dallas, and his house got broken into during the game. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that at all. No.
He wins a key road game. They were like 4-8 at the time, and it's like they had to kind of turn things around, or their season was going to be completely lost. They win this big Monday night game in Dallas, or Sunday night game in Dallas. He comes off the field, everybody's excited, and he's all pumped up and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they show him just looking at his phone, and that's when all the reports came in that his house got broken into. And I guess he, you probably know this, but you know he was in line to purchase a Batmobile, right?
No, I did not know that.
He bought an actual Batmobile from The Dark Knight.
Okay.
What I didn't know is he wasn't going to get it for like a year, but his house being broken into, and I'm anxious to continue the story to see if they talk about it more. He wound up canceling the Batmobile because his house got broken into because he was in fear of what people were going to take. But I mean, he was completely distraught on how, everybody knows where I live. Everybody has seen my house. Everybody is, I have he goes, I recognize I live a very public life, but he goes, I like to keep my private life private. And he's like, I don't have private life anymore. And he's like, I may have to move and all that stuff. And I guess it's just interesting to see what these players, how they live. It's just interesting. So Quarterback on Netflix, check it out.
All right. I'll start that this week, I think.
Yeah.
A little something to watch while I'm working.
Yeah, it's good. The first season was pretty good. I found Patrick Mahomes' wife to be even more annoying than when she is on television. She's awful, man. But I mean, they're involved in a lot of stuff, so they do a lot of charity work and things like that. But she is just annoying as shit when he's playing. But yeah, Burrow, I think is a single guy. He doesn't talk about any. He kind of lives alone, and they show his parents a bunch. That's it. But I mean, Goff's married, Cousins is married, 2 kids, all that kind of thing. So they show Kirk Cousins coaching 6-year-old flag football, which is kind of interesting. And and Kirk Cousins as head coach is out there talking about clock management with 6-year-olds. It was pretty funny. So it's kind of cool.
I could see Kirk Cousins being a good coach or commentator or something like that. I feel like he's got the personality for it.
Definitely.
Do you think he has the personality to mentor Penix?
I think he does.
Do you think so? Because he's getting paid an awful lot of money to do it right now.
He is, but they showed him in training camp of last year. Now, granted, this was before Penix even had a shot at playing, but they showed him where he ran a play and then he talked to the other two quarterbacks. I think it was Penix and I think they had what is the guy who was on practice squad? Oh, Nathan Peterman, who was on practice squad for the Bears, actually. They showed him talking about what he saw, and he went to the other two quarterbacks and be like, hey, what you see there, this is what I saw, this is what I went through, what would you have done? And those aren't the type of things I could see. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing that kind of thing for anybody.
Right. That's exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Now Cousins, makes a lot of money. He's still got, 3 more years under contract. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed. I don't know if the Falcons have to pay everything on that, but I mean, it was like 4 years, 40 million or something like that he signed last year. So, but what I didn't know, when he got benched, I guess his ankle was still bugging him. He had a pretty decent bruise on his elbow, and he had a shoulder issue. So he was trying to play through all that when he got benched. So, and I didn't know that. So I didn't know he was that banged up when he got benched. So,
well, he got benched and now he's not back. Like, that's what it takes, like an injury, right?
Yeah,
we're shifting. I mean, that's what happened with Tom Brady getting in when what's his face, blew up his spleen on the sideline.
Drew Bledsoe, yes.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened. I remember when Trent Green got hurt and Kurt Warner took the field for the Rams, and the rest is history. So, yeah, it's happened a couple times.
Yeah. All right, well, I'll check it out.
Yeah, good show. Very, very interesting. Netflix does a really good job with sports documentaries. I don't know how many of those you've watched, if you've watched any of them, but...
Not many. I'm not much of a documentary person. I think every once in a while I'll be interested in Hard Knocks, and that's about it. But yeah, I have not watched... I think I watched the Bears one last year. Was it last year?
Oh, Hard Knocks? Yeah, that was boring.
Yeah, it was boring as shit.
Yeah. I
didn't cover any of the things that was going to happen.
No, I was very disappointed with Bears Hard Knocks, and I think a lot of that was dictated by the team as to what they wanted shown and what they didn't, which was super disappointing. I'm like, I thought it was all access HBO. You're going to get everything, and I will say this on Netflix on quarterback, you get everything. I mean, every other word is the F word when they're on the field. It's kind of funny.
Good, that's what you want. That's real.
Yeah, it's absolutely real. Dan Campbell, I know he's a coach on an opposing team in the division that we like, but how anybody could not absolutely love playing for that guy, I would never understand.
Yeah, I still think there's a market for a R-rated, XL-rated, whatever you want to call, football broadcast team, and have actual language used for that. Not for kids, obviously, but I think there's it just strikes me as like that's a no-brainer, is to just have a play-by-play and a color commentator or crew, whatever, and just go ape shit on Sundays.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
And I think they've tried it a couple times with was it Amazon Prime? And I'm not talking was it the Manning cast, right, where you've got the two? And I think I actually prefer to watch that than I do the regular Monday night stuff, because they're actually more entertaining. But I want more. Give me something that's more unfiltered, let's put it.
I know. I wish, and they'd never do it for competition reasons and stuff, but I wish you could have the coach mic'd up or the quarterback mic'd up for the game. Oh man, that would just be, and throw it on HBO or
just give me the game audio with a couple of mics. Yeah, the sideline mic and then the huddle mic or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even need commentary. I just want to listen into the game as it goes on. That would be awesome. Then you go in for halftime and listen in on that and all that stuff. That would be wild.
See, that's something that what is it what's the minor league football league that's out there, where they take some of the rules? That's something they start there, Savannah Bananas type, bullshit, and try to bring it, but do that with the broadcast. I wonder if I guess there's nothing stopping you and I from turning the game on, and as long as we don't show the picture or show the sound and we just describe it, and we could somehow do it live at the same time as other people are watching the game, like that would be basically live stream the game, but just live stream our audio. And the hook would be, okay, you've got to turn on the Bears game at this time, and then we live stream our audio.
Right.
And you turn down the TV or whatever, right? And you turn up the streaming audio, and we call it play by play. Like, I don't think there's anything stopping from doing that.
As long as the sound's down and you're not showing any video, yeah, we can simulcast that.
You're just describing it. And I think what would be interesting is the delay we'd all have, because I know there's different delays for different streaming services. And so it would be like, all right, we have to pause it, get it onto the same point, and then broadcast from that point. But other people watching it might be ahead or behind. Right.
That would be fun to try sometime. I'd be up for that. That's whether just do a half or whatever. I think that'd be a blast.
Well, maybe we try that in the season. I mean, we kind of did a little bit for Sunday Night Football because that's usually when we were recording.
Right.
But yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if I want to. No offense, sit there for 3 hours doing a podcast. That's play by play. And I don't know what I'm doing. It would just be like, yeah, that's bullshit. Or
that's why I would say, okay, let's try it for maybe a quarter or a half, and then cut it, and then be like, all right, how do we do with that? That kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll give it a shot then, maybe.
But it'd be cool to do it, and then have people like, okay, record the game, and then go back, start the game, and then start our recording, and then just see how it sounds. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Either that, or just it's audio only, and you catch it after the fact, and we do a show. We do an episode while we're watching a game, and we like I said, we've done a little bit of that on Sunday night games for last year. So I don't know. Just a thought.
I'd be up.
Look, I'm always innovating in the podcast market. That's just who I am, an innovator in broadcast media.
I think it'd be very similar to a Common Man's Manning Cast, because that's basically what they do, but they know everything that they're talking about when in terms of football.
Yes, and I think that's the problem is it either you have to be entertaining for, let's call it 3 hours straight, because there's going to be lulls, right? So you have to be able to entertain. You also have to know what you're talking about and not just be like, this guy doesn't know shit, right? So there is definitely a skill to it. If they want to just put a tape recorder, on your living room table and just record while somebody watches a game, 99% of the time, it's not going to be entertaining.
Right. Well, because these announcers have backstories on these guys,
right. And they have whole crews that are feeding them information and spotters, and all that stuff. It's a production.
And they've interviewed, the players, but they've interviewed both quarterbacks for the game, and they've talked to the coaches, and I spent time at practice this week, and here's what I saw. They've got things to fill the downtime with, whereas we would have dumbass of the week and
right, yeah, or we would start saying, "Oh, it looks like that play. We've got a nominee for dumbass of the week."
Yeah,
right.
It would
Tyree
be
Steven.
It would.
Congratulations, you just got dumbass of the year for that play against Washington.
Right. It would be fun to try, though, just based on watching the game. I'd be up for that. That'd be cool. Right. I would do that.
Remind me, and we'll figure it out and do something.
Cool. Maybe when the Bears play in primetime sometime, maybe we can give it a go.
Yeah. Like I said, we have the technology. I don't know if we're entertaining enough to do it, but I'm willing to give it a shot, see how it goes.
Oh, we're entertaining enough, Jeff. Come on.
Okay. Jeez, man. Don't need to yell.
I mean, I know I'm entertained every time I listen to the show.
Well, that makes one of us. So good job.
Wow.
Oh, shots fired. Bing, bing.
Stick and move. Anyway.
That's right.
So
what else you got?
So let's talk about here, Jeff. I got it. So we spent a lot of time talking about how crappy the White Sox are.
Okay.
They are, since the All-Star break, I believe it's now 9-5. They Saturday night already hit their win total for all of last year, 40 wins. They're there.
All right. Sky's the limit.
And
To the moon.
yes, they lost today on a walk-off home run by the Angels, but they also have brought up a guy who's been there. I think he's played, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 games. They drafted this guy out of high school like 4 years ago, Colson Montgomery. And people were always wondering, when is this guy going to come up? Is he a bust? Does he suck? Is he good? Is he going to be good? Well, let me tell you, this guy's come up and he is leading Major League Baseball in RBIs since the All-Star break. He's hit 7 home runs in like his last 11 games. So he is everything that Sox fans have hoped for this guy, because he was always a big question mark. They're playing routinely at least 4, if not 5 rookies that have made their major league debuts this year in their lineup on a daily basis. So they're very young. They have a long way to go. But I think they're starting to accelerate their rebuild just a little bit, and they're a lot better than people have expected them to be. So I got to say kudos to the White Sox, who have a chance to win, 65, an outside chance of maybe 70 games, avoid 100 losses after losing 120 plus games last year. Huge improvement. It's, as a Sox fan, I know you don't care, but it's exciting to see.
So was then last year an anomaly? Like, if there's that big of a swing between wins and losses between not just last year, the year before that, then last year, then this year, is it just like, what was it?
I think
that's like, this is the problem from last year.
I think last year was like the perfect storm of, they had a shitty manager. They had a bunch of injuries. They just had a bunch of guys that were just guys. There was no direction. There was not a whole lot of guys that were going to be a part of their future, just placeholders. It just seemed like a team that just didn't really give a shit about anything. And they had no identity. Fans weren't going. It was just, I guess, it'd be the equivalent of an entire franchise hitting rock bottom in every way, shape, or form. They went out, got a new manager, committed to their young guys, given their guys a chance to play, and have just kind of rolled with it. And they're starting to see some dividends from it. So that's good. Again, they've got a long way to go. Some of these guys are still yet to be seen as far as them going to play out as success stories for draft picks and trades and that kind of thing. But you're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel for the Sox, which is good.
Okay. Well,
so yeah, I don't know if I call it an anomaly. I would just call it rock bottom.
Okay. Well,
so
still don't care, but cool.
I know you don't care. And that's fine.
And the Rockies are still bad, I see. I'm looking at the standings now. So
yeah, the Rockies wins. Are awful. Yeah. I don't know if they're gonna have as bad of a record as the Sox did last year, but they could challenge it. What is it? The
I
Cubs?
got some trivia for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Hit me with it.
All right. This is well, I think it's obscure, but maybe you'll know. There is one team in the MLB that has a losing record, but has a positive run differential.
Oh man, I have no idea.
That would be the Tampa Bay Rays at 55 and 58, but have a plus 46 run differential.
Wow. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So when they win, they beat the crap out of people.
Yep. There is one team that has a winning record that has a negative run differential.
Okay, who's that?
Cleveland Guardians, 56 and 55, and a minus 28 run differential.
Okay, once again, so when they lose, they lose. But interesting.
Yeah. The Brewers right now have the best run differential, plus 119, and 2 games ahead of everybody else right now for top of the league.
That Brewers team, man, I tell you what, it's not like they have any big name stars, but they play good baseball, and they're going to be tough to beat. And the guy who's really contributed to them is Andrew Vaughn, who was with the Sox earlier this year and couldn't do squat for the better part of the last 4 years. Sox finally let him go. They traded him for a pitcher, and he gets to the Brewers, and suddenly he's mashing like Mickey Mantle. So, I don't think it's sustainable, but sometimes a change of scenery is good. As what's her face, a famous singer said, "A change will do you good." The hell was her name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was
A change will do you good.
Sheryl Crow.
Okay, I can't say that I celebrate her full catalog, so I don't know. Okay, so you got the Brewers at 67 wins, and then you got four teams at 65: Cubs, Dodgers, Blue Jays, and Tigers. So you got 5 teams within 3 games of the top.
Okay. 3 of those teams are National League teams, and then you got the Tigers. So interesting.
Well,
yeah,
hit me up in September or October when it starts to get interesting again.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll still say it's boring.
Yeah, because I think it's just still, the sport is just still too slow.
It is slow. It's,
and I don't like that. I need action.
I agree with that. I get it. I do like watching in October the playoffs, because then you got a full crowd, everybody's into it. The slowness becomes dramatic, if you will. So it's a little bit different. But I told you before, I understand why people think it's boring. We scientifically proved that it was boring. So I'm on board with the idea that the game is boring to a lot of people. But I still enjoy it.
Well, you get to the playoffs, and that's different, I think.
Yeah.
It's like any sport, though. If it's a competitive playoffs, that's one thing.
Yes.
But I feel like too often there are, it goes back and forth. It's, okay, one team won 7-1, and then the other team wins 6-2, and the other one wins like 10-3. And it's like, it ends up being not a competitive game. And
right.
Until you'll have classics and stuff like that, right? I'm not talking about those, but it's not like the Bulls and Knicks in the 90s, or Bulls and Pacers, or Bulls and Pistons, or other close series that were 2-3 point games all the time.
Right. Oh yeah. Games kind of could change on a dime like that,
right.
Whereas, I mean, occasionally baseball games like I'll forever. And again, I'm a Sox fan, but I still think one of the greatest actual games ever played was Game 7 of the 2016 World Series between the Cubs and the Guardians. That game was back and forth. It was so exciting. The drama plus the action in that game was incredible.
Yeah.
Then you had the rain delay and all that, and then Chapman gives up the home run to tie it, and it went into extras, and that was as exciting as a baseball game that I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
So baseball does have
give me that all the time, or more frequently. I just don't feel like baseball delivers that as frequently enough to enter to.
Oh no,
I should say.
I hear you. No, I hear you. I agree. Cubs, they walked off. I forget who they were playing this weekend, but they had a walk-off home run today, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. I flipped to ESPN homepage here, and the headline is Kyle Schwarber crushes 435-foot home run to tie Ohtani for NL lead.
That guy, Schwarber, he's the one guy the Cubs should have never have let get away. I remember the Cubs drafted him in the first round. I forget what pick it was. And then he came up and hit, and then, he got hurt, basically missed the entire 2016 season until he came back in the playoffs and helped them win it. And then he played with them for a couple more years, and then they let him go. They let him go as a free agent. And that's the one move that I, as an executive for the Cubs, if it were me, would totally regret. That guy has hit everywhere he's gone.
Plus, he's famous for hitting that home run over the scoreboard or whatever it was.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say his home runs aren't cheap, though. They're bombs. I mean, they are bombs. So.
Is that his thing, though? He's only a home run hitter, or is he actually a decent, like, all-around hitter?
He's a decent hitter. I mean, he walks a lot, too, so he gets on base. His average isn't always the best. I mean,
his average 254 right now.
That's actually good for him, because if you look at his average over the years, it hasn't been great. But the Phillies, for the longest time, they might even still bat him leadoff, which I find interesting. But that tells me that he gets on base enough to warrant it. But I would think you'd want that guy up with guys on base as often as possible, you know? Let me see. I'm trying to look up his career numbers.
His career number right now is he's a 232 career batting average.
Yeah, which isn't great. So,
I mean, his last year is a 266, which sucks.
Yeah,
but that was
hit 29. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look at 2023. He hit 197, struck out 215 times. So, but
47 home runs,
104 RBIs. And I mean, he's also scored, over 100 runs the last 4 years. So ever since he got to Philadelphia and they put him in the leadoff spot, he scores. Because if you look at his on base percentage, it's in the mid to high 300s. So that's really what you care about. The batting average is but you care about the on base and the slug. And I mean, his OPS this year, 944. That's as good as it gets in the game outside of guys like Aaron Judge and whoever. So Schwarber, one of the elite players in baseball, I think.
Okay.
Outside, I think Schwarber has an outside chance if he keeps playing at this pace to hit 500 home runs. And 500 home runs most likely will put you in the Hall of Fame.
That's the number?
Someday. Yeah. I don't think, outside of the suspected steroid guys, I don't think there's a 500 home run guy that's not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Outside of guys like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Sosa and Rafael Palmeiro and Alex Rodriguez, I think those 5 guys all were proven steroid users. So
proven or allegations were there?
Well, let's see.
Don't sue the FOJ show.
No. Well, Alex Rodriguez was suspended for a year. Everybody knows the Barry Bonds story. McGuire admitted it. Sosa admitted to quote unquote wrongdoings. He never said exactly what they were, but he also got busted with a cork bat. And then Palmeiro lied under oath to Congress when testifying about steroids. He said, I never took them. And then he showed up on some list that says that he tested positive at some point. So all of them at some way, shape, or form have been proven to have taken something at some point. Or self-admitted. So, yeah.
Well, I say bring it back. I want to see home runs. So,
well,
juice,
I still
baby,
think... Yeah, I still think they belong in the Hall of Fame because I don't think steroids alone causes you to hit home runs. I mean, you got to put the bat on the ball and, all that. But I don't know. A lot of people think that they should not. So, whatever.
Well, people can have opinions. That's fine.
Yeah, but Kyle Schwarber, awesome player. So,
just not for the Cubs.
No, not anymore. And he's only 32, so there's no reason to think that he can't play at a high level another 6, 7, maybe even 8 years. So we'll see.
I look forward to the Cubs or the Sox, signing him in 6 to 8 years when he's on the downside of his career.
That would be a total White Sox move.
Mhm.
Oh my God. If there are so many guys over the years that the White Sox have signed or traded for that were past their prime. I mean, you want to talk about a Hall of Fame list of guys that have played for the White Sox past their prime. You'd be amazed. If you, I mean, I could rattle off, but you wouldn't know any of these guys because you're not a big baseball guy. But I'm talking Hall of Famers that have played for the Sox or near Hall of Famers that have played for the Sox when they were past their prime.
Well, I don't think it's just a baseball thing, right? You see it in the NBA a lot too, is players that are well past their prime. I don't see it. I guess, I mean, I'm sure it happens in the NFL, but I don't think it's as noticeable, maybe, because I think you pretty quickly figure out whether or not you can play NFL
Yeah,
that quickly. But NBA, you'll see lots of like older players that just kind of like bounce around the
hang
league.
around.
Yeah, they decide that they want to keep playing or keep getting contracts, and rather than kind of reading the room, saying, okay, well, I'm not a high level player anymore, but I can still contribute somewhere.
Yeah, or you could be a practice guy, or
Right.
you're quote unquote he's good in the locker room.
Right. Yeah,
That
he's
kind of
a
thing.
veteran leadership in the locker room. That bullshit.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Cubs have one of those guys, Justin Turner. And he's the one who hit the walk off today, but I think it was only like his third home run of the year. So
Okay. Well, uh, what else? Anything?
nothing too crazy. Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean just what is it? I got so I have an interesting thing going on at work where I'm trying to decide whether or not to expose one of my customers to his dad when he comes back from Greece. Now, none of my
Oh.
guys listen. None of my customers listen to this podcast
That you know
right?
of.
That I know
Don't
of.
do it. Don't do it. Don't spill the tea. It's not worth it. Regardless. Tell me off air.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'll leave it at that.
It's
But
not worth it because
yeah,
you never know.
I know.
You just never know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's not. Believe me, it's not that juicy. It's just it's a little controversial in my world, but it's not that. I guess it's not that big a deal.
Yeah. We don't want anybody to get in trouble. At least I know.
No, I don't
So
want anybody
we'll
in
just-
trouble. So
We'll talk afterwards. Did you see the South Park episode last week?
I have.
Oh my gosh.
I have.
I haven't watched South Park in 15, 20 years. It's the first episode I've seen in a very long time.
I've never watched an episode of South Park.
Really?
I've also never watched an episode of The Simpsons ever.
Oh my gosh. What is wrong with you?
I think we've talked about this. I'm not a big cartoon guy.
Yeah, but they're both shows are so well written and so iconic and so on the point. And my gosh, the South Park season kickoff last week for this year was just. I don't know if I've ever seen anything so brutal and so funny at the same time, but it was
Well,
absolutely brutal for Trump.
I was gonna say there's
Brutal.
enough material out there that I'm sure they had stuff to go off of.
Well, so yes, right, and this is in the middle of the whole. We talked about the whole CBS and Skydance merger and blah blah blah, and trying to do stuff
Yes.
with Paramount, blah blah blah, right? And
Yes.
so South Park is on Paramount, and this aired after the Colbert Show. Oh,
So wait, it's not on Comedy Central anymore?
No, well, I think it is actually, yes, because Comedy Central, I think, is owned by Paramount,
Okay,
and so Paramount and CBS are kind of like the same thing.
gotcha.
And so this aired last Saturday or Sunday, I think it was, and
Uh-huh.
it was the first episode after who was Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I think it was like the creators of this thing.
Yes.
They just signed a deal with CBS for $1.5 billion with a B, billion,
Really?
to do 50 episodes over the next however many years.
Okay.
And so CBS basically has given them $1.5 billion to do this. And then they turn around this episode of South Park with stuff that literally happened like that weekend. And it was so on point and so funny and so absolutely brutal for Trump. And
So,
Caroline Levitt, she gets it too, who's the press secretary.
so, okay, back up. So we got to wrap your head around
Yeah,
$1.5 billion
yeah,
for a cartoon.
yeah. For a 5-year deal with Paramount, which is I think like a minimum of like 50, at least 50 episodes or something like that. So they signed that deal in July, and then this is the middle of the whole, So, by the way, that merger was approved, right? And
Yeah.
so they signed this deal and then literally like put this out after the whole, you know, political stuff that Trump was doing with FCC and stuff like that. And so I'm curious to see what CBS is going to do around this, or Paramount, I guess I should say, because I mean, this is a $1.5 billion deal. I'm pretty sure they can't walk away from this without paying a bunch of money to Parker
You
and
said
Stone.
you said 50 episodes. That's $30 million an episode.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's also the back catalog too. So like
So they own
26 years
South
that they've
Park.
been doing this. Yeah.
Okay, still.
But they have to create at least 50 episodes with that 1.5 billion that they were over the next 5 years. They had to do at least 50 episodes over the course of 5 seasons.
Jeff, we're in the wrong business.
It's, I mean, hey, if somebody wants to come and pay us money I'll put out episodes for that of this bullshit. But I said I have not watched a South Park in decades, and this is the first one that I mean, I didn't watch it live, but I heard everyone talking about it. It was all over social media. But if you have Paramount Plus, it is absolutely brutal. It's
I do.
hilarious, but it is brutal, and the ending is just so good of that episode. I don't know how they're going to top it.
All right, Jeff, I'll tell you what. Just for you, because you're my friend, I will go on Paramount because I have it.
Yeah,
And
just
I
check
will
it out.
watch this. I will watch this episode. I will watch South Park for the first time ever in my life and report back to you next week.
See, it's a good episode. I don't know if you'll appreciate it because of some of the characters that are in it that are callbacks to prior seasons. But it is really funny and, like I said, just brutal.
I'll take it for what it is, because we've talked the political stuff before, and I think I'm pretty good at respecting others' opinions. I'll always listen, and I can watch this stuff for what it is. And you're probably right, because believe me, I know there's a ton of material out there to go off of.
I'm
for
sure.
With
And
you
there's
on that.
always something new. But
there's always when it comes to the presidency, there's always material, right? Whether it's Democrat, Republican, Biden, Trump, Obama, whoever. There's always stuff to draw from. So I can appreciate political humor, whichever side it is. So just for you, I will go watch it. I will watch it.
Check it out. Let me think. It is.
How long is it?
Just I want to say 25 minutes. I mean, kind of like a normal. I think it's a half-hour show. I don't remember actually, but
so they're getting more than $1 million a minute for this show.
I mean, sounds like it.
Based on the math,
Like I said, I don't remember how long the show was. I just know that it went by really quick because it was very fast-moving and covered a lot of ground.
I'll check it out. I will check it out.
Said brutal, just totally brutal. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'll disagree slightly only because politics have now come up. I think, yes, there's always something to complain about, but there's a whole lot of bullshit happening right now. It's just such bullshit. Oh, you don't like the job numbers? Okay, well, let's just fire the person who puts that out there. Despite the person, being bipartisan and serve like multiple, administrations, not just whatever. Like, okay, like this is the banana republic that we're in now.
See, I'll admit I'm not familiar with what happened, so I will go back. You're not the first person that has referred to something like that, so I got to go back and look at what happened.
Oh, this just happened. This was Friday. A terrible jobs report just came out for the National Labor Board or whatever it is. It's basically the reporting part for the government that says here's what jobs were announced, and either job growth or job loss or stagnation or whatever it may be. And so this has been happening for a very long time. They put out an initial report, and then the initial report gets updated with facts and figures over the coming weeks or months as more information comes in. It's basically a self-reported stat. So a survey goes out to companies, say, hey, how many people did you hire or fire? Give us the number. And then it gets checked over the next several weeks and months before a final report is issued. So the initial job report just came out on this past Friday, and it is not good. Does not tell the story of a good economy, which is not what obviously, this administration wants to see.
Yeah, I'm looking at Twitter right now. I hear what you're saying. Okay.
And it's just a brutal report. And so, because those numbers came out, all of a sudden this person is getting attacked and is being fired because they don't like the numbers. So I guess the next person will come up with better numbers somehow that are more reflective of what the message is supposed to be. Like, I don't know how you trust numbers coming out of that if this is clearly a political firing. It has nothing to do with the quality, but it's just numbers. Like, these are the numbers. What are you supposed to do? Fake them?
Yeah, no, I'm
that's just, that's just the latest bullshit.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, yeah, got that going for us. But now it's 11 p.m. and I'm all riled up and now I'm going to bed.
I do not mean to get you riled up, Jeff.
No, it's not you, man. So, it's just the world.
I know.
I wish for a simpler time, when it was just, the drama and the corruption was limited to baby racing, baby crawl races in the WNBA. Like, that was a simpler time in my life about an hour ago.
I get you.
Yeah.
Well, if this makes you feel any better, I talked about my musical playlist. I am, like I said, I'm up to like 480 songs on here. And
what are the last 5 that you added to your Spotify? And I will share mine because I'm using Spotify again too. So we should probably do a shared playlist of some sort.
Okay. Well, based on, like I said, some stuff that, I heard over the weekend, and I actually added it was like 80 songs just yesterday. I'm like, because I listen to my playlist. Yeah, well, I listen to my playlist all the time, and I want to make sure that I don't get bored of the playlist. Does that make sense?
Right. Yep.
So I'm like, okay, I need a refresher. So yesterday I added a bunch of stuff, but the last 5 that I added were here. I'll tell you what. I'll go with the last 10 because 4 of them are U2 songs. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I added Where the Streets Are No Name or Have No Name, Even Better Than Real Thing, One, and Bullet the Blue Sky by U2.
I like Bullet the Blue Sky. I don't like U2 very much, but I like Bullet the Blue Sky. It's one of my favorites.
So do I. I love the drama of that song. It's awesome. I added Who's Crying Now by Journey. I don't know if you remember that one.
Mm-mm.
Who's Too Sweet by what's his name? Hosier or Hosier or whatever the hell.
Yep.
Yeah. Come a Little Closer by Cage the Elephant.
That's a good song.
Out of My League by Fitz and the Tantrums. And then 2 songs by the Chainsmokers, Closer and Don't Let Me Down.
Yeah, I know that one.
So
it's not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So
you're starting to stretch those fingers a little bit in your ear bones.
Trying to get it, I am, me, I love my 80s hairband rock and roll. That's my go-to.
It's amazing. It's fantastic. Yes.
Yes.
100%.
But I do, but contrary to popular belief, I do like other stuff. So like
here's the last 5 I added. Breathe by The Prodigy, which I would have thought it would have been in my playlist somewhere, but of course that. What It's Like by Everlast, another classic. Your Woman by Whitetown. And this one you definitely probably won't. Honestly, definitely probably don't know. LED Spirals, the extended version from La Castlevania. EDM from John Wick, basically. And then let's see. We Have Explosive, The Future Sound of London.
Right on.
So a lot of, for whatever reason, I think it was on an EDM playlist of some sort.
Okay, but I mean, those are I'll check some of those out. But some of those Everlast. I remember Everlast. He was part of the group that put out House of Pain, or House of Pain was the group that put out. Was it?
Yes.
What was their big hit? Was it
Jump Around?
Jump around. That's right.
How dare you, man? Get up, get down.
That's right. Yeah. But yeah, some other stuff I had yesterday, just the groups like Three Dog Night, Kansas, Elvis, Dolly Parton, Blue Oyster Cult, Bill Withers, Weezer, Black Keys, Portugal the Man, Foster the People, MGMT, so Doobie Brothers. So yeah, I kind of sprayed to all fields yesterday. It's kind of
That's
fun.
great. You just hit the plus sign, right? You like it. That's it. It just
Yeah,
goes in the queue, and
yeah,
that's it.
that's right.
I'm very excited right now because I'm a big fan of the Orb. It's an older electronic music
Yes,
person
yes,
that's
I'm
been around for a
familiar.
while. I think I probably recommended a couple times.
Yes,
But he's put out 2 bangers in like the last 2 weeks. It's like holy shit! Like this guy is awesome.
okay. Two
So
bangers. All right.
Master Blaster and I'm gonna mispronounce it. It's like Arabamonics, something like that.
Master Blaster. I just like the
Master
name.
Blaster, yeah, and I'm not able to find it. Where is it? Arabonomics, something like that.
Aerobonomics.
Yeah,
Okay. Throw the
Arabibonics. Sorry, that's what it is. Arabibonics. So both of those, and he's got a new album coming out later this year, which is very cool. So
So the first two songs that show up when I search the orb
mhm.
are little fluffy clouds.
Yeah, classic, fantastic.
And Perpetual Dawn.
That's another good one.
So there
Yeah,
you go.
like there's a album called Adventures Beyond the Ultra World. It came out in '91, which is like an all-time best.
Oh, you recommended that to me.
I definitely recommend it to you. It was like this
Yeah,
is
you
one
did. I know you did.
you put your headphones on and you just relax and sit and just let it all go.
Yeah, that was one you said you got to kind of like lie down on the floor and just stare at the ceiling and close your
Yeah.
eyes and listen
If
to
you've
that.
got, cool mood lighting, that thing, that's one thing you just kind of let it just try to find the layers. There's so many layers in all the different tracks he's got
Yeah,
there. But it's also like it's like a journey. It's like you're leaving Earth and then going through the solar system. It's cool.
Yeah, this is April 2nd, 1991, The Orb, Adventures Beyond the Ultra World. You liken that to almost like listening to, like the electric
The
version
Dark
of
Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon by Pink
Yeah.
Floyd. Exactly. It was
Yeah.
that kind of experience.
It's that
So,
kind of thing.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like you just like sit there and there's so many classic, and yeah, it starts off with Little Fluffy Clouds. And that's a banger straight up. Like, club music there for sure, but
Yeah.
it's also super relaxing. And it's like I said, so many different layers to it. And then for that to have come out, geez, what was that 91? So 30 some years ago. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, it says that it's funny. It says it's only 10 songs, but it's an hour and 49 minutes long.
And every song flows from one to the next. So if you have gapless playback, this is the type of album that you turn gapless playback on,
Yeah.
because it's all just one thing.
So I got one last thing for you, and it's a quick one. So I think this was either yesterday or Friday. We had a message or a posting from our buddy Chad on Facebook talking about, and he actually tagged you, but I don't know if you saw it because you're not a big Facebook guy.
Did not.
The possibility of Metallica playing the Sphere in
Oh yeah,
fall
I did hear about
in
that.
the fall of 2026. And it was Chad's idea that you, myself, Jeff, and Chad all head out to Vegas to go see it.
I'm in.
I would
I'm in.
be totally up for that.
That's not cheap. That's an expensive ticket. I think
Oh, I'm sure it is.
you're talking probably like $600 to $1,000 a ticket.
Yeah, but
And I don't even know what they'll cost at that point for that. But yeah, I would go.
that would be. I don't shell out that kind of money for a lot of things, but for me, that would be worth it.
Yeah, because I've not been to the Sphere. I've heard so many good things about it, and it
So
looks
have I.
like an amazing place to see that kind of event.
What is it? Our friends Jen and Tony went and saw Dead and Company, which is like today's version of the Grateful Dead because they're big Dead fans. They saw Dead and Company at the Sphere and said it was unbelievable. So Yeah, I think that's something we definitely need to look at if that actually happens. Nothing's been confirmed, but I know I've read it in multiple places that that's being talked about. A residency for Metallica at the Sphere. I think that would just be amazing.
That would be cool. Yeah, I would be down for
So
that.
cool.
The Spheres just looks cool from outside too. I mean, not even going in
It does.
Just
Yeah, it
flying
does.
into Vegas looks great. Smiley
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
just nuts.
So yeah, I think they were talking about the possibility of next fall. So a little over a year
Okay.
from now.
All right, plan it out. I'll be there.
Awesome. That's all I
All
got
right.
for
Well,
you, dude.
yeah. Let's end on a high note. Let's do yeah, Metallica at the Sphere. Favorite Metallica song?
Oh man, I Master Puppets is my all timer.
Okay. Enter Sandman for me. Or
That's probably number two.
wherever my well, actually no, wherever I may roam.
Ooh. Yeah.
One of those two. It's going to be either Enter Sandman or wherever I may roam.
That's kind of
one of those two.
that's a sneaky one off the Black Album. That was
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's a great one.
Mm-hmm.
Black Album from start to finish is just unbelievable.
Yep. Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah,
I'm done
love
talking
it.
to you. Some of us have to work
right,
in the
buddy.
morning, Jay. Jeez.
You and me both.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. See ya.
See ya.